Hey guys, Alex from 7th Hour Films back again with Breaking Bad. Last time on Breaking Bad we had Ozymandias. These names, man, they drive me crazy. But, okay, big stuff. Hank's dead, Gomi's dead, Walt is only left with $11 million, the white supremacists took the rest of it. Yeah, Jesse has been tortured and he's now training Todd under duress. Walt tried to get the family and escape, but they weren't really going. He eventually got into a fight with Skyler, and everything has been revealed to Flynn. It's all pretty bad. He tried kidnapping Holly, and he left. Then just before he dropped off Holly at a fire station, he did call and basically implicated him and not Skyler, which was the point of that call, was to basically put all the heat on him and basically take everything off of Skyler. So, yeah. And then he left. He called up Saul's guy and got in the car, and he's out. Presumably, he is on his way to Denny's. So, yeah. This is the penultimate episode. Honestly, last episode, I feel like the plot ended, but we do still have 2 more episodes, so I'll be curious to see where we're going in these 2 episodes. So, that is basically that. We should get into this episode. Like always, if you want to watch my reaction, it's down in the description and in the pinned comment. Go click on it, watch it, come back, and enjoy the discussion. So with that being said, let's get right into this episode of Breaking Bad. Here we go. You know, most of this episode could be described as, so this is how Heisenberg ends. Not with a bang, but with a whimper. Until the end, where Heisenberg says, no, if I'm going out, it's going to be a fucking bang. You cannot keep the supervillain down. Which, I mean, think about it. At this point, I feel like he's going to go down like Gus Fring. Even if, it was him that took out Gus, he is not going to go quietly into the night. Oh my gosh. I would like to also, once again, like we did last episode, I want to bring up the description of this episode real quick, just because it's stupid. The description is, and I quote verbatim, "In the penultimate episode of the series, events set in motion long ago move toward a conclusion." Otherwise known as, no shit. What kind of malarkey description is that? Now, granted, if you read that, there's nothing. There's no spoilers at all. Like, you could not glean anything from that, you know? But that is still a very dumb description of the episode. Oh my gosh. Oh, he will not go quietly into the night. He is not about to let the world... He's not about to leave the world without reminding them who he is. Oh boy. This is insanity, man. And that's the thing, last episode I was like, oh, well, the plot's over, we're done. But it's just like he said, we're done when he says we're done. Saul doesn't say it, although Saul got out. Saul's out. Saul's done. I don't think we're ever seeing Saul again. Saul's out, And I said that, oh, well, the plot's over. I don't know. Like, what are we doing these next 2 episodes? But the plot is over. And it's like, no. The plot is over when he says it's over. I can't believe that. I can't believe that is what spurred him on, I mean, well, granted, I think it's twofold from the call with Flynn, as well as seeing Gretchen and Elliot on TV. Oh my gosh. This is insanity, man. This is straight insanity. He's not giving up. Now, he's gone. He had to leave. So, the guy's not coming back. The guy's not coming back for him now. But this is how it happens. Which, now here's the thing. We saw, in Denny's, it seems like if we go back to that scene, he's basically like, I think he was getting weapons. I think that was it specifically. It wasn't just that he was doing the drug trade or anything. Like, it seemed like he was getting weapons. So now we can almost infer, okay, is he going back to kill Jack? Maybe. I hope so. I hope he kills Todd. I just want a bullet through his fucking face. Which I don't mean like... See, I feel bad because it's one of those things where it's like, if I ever see this actor again, I'm going to immediately hate his character. So he's going to need to work in order for me to like his character. Because he is so good at playing such a bastard that I just don't... Like, it's one of those things where it's like, if I ever see this actor again, I'm going to immediately hate his character. Don't hate the actor. This actor's doing a great job, but I hate Todd so much that it's going to start infecting other roles this guy gets, Oh my goodness gracious. So, oh man. So this is why he goes to Denny's. This is why. We have now reached the future. Can you, can we even, think about this? Go back to episode 1. And you just see, a guy cooking some meth in his underwear with this other guy. And, they have to, isn't the first, scene, the cold open is them, they're driving away in a hurry and stuff like that. Go from that first episode to here. How much has happened to where now we are here, It's so crazy. It's so crazy. Okay. Let's go ahead and hop into the notes. Saul. Saul's out. And I think he's legit out. Just gone. There's no nothing about it. He is gone. He is done. I don't think we're ever seeing Saul again on this show. There's the spinoff, obviously, Better Call Saul, but I believe that's a prequel, if I'm correct. So, yeah, and it's possible that will be voted on, and that will win the poll to replace Breaking Bad, which, who knows, may or may not be going on right now while this episode goes up. So, maybe, I don't know. I'll have to see. I think it's supposed to be, doesn't the poll goes up March 2nd? So yeah, actually I think it should be today. I think it should be today that the day this episode goes up is when the poll to replace Breaking Bad is on my Patreon page. So go vote in that if it's up. If it's not up yet, then just wait a minute, and if you're watching this afterwards, then oh well. Anyway, but yeah, Saul is out. Saul is on his way to Nebraska. Which is pretty interesting. So that made it sound like it really doesn't, you don't really get a say in it. That's what Jesse says, do I get a say in where I go? And Saul's like, oh, I would imagine you would. Which, I would imagine there's no real difference, where they go. I'm sure the guy can get through, anything basically. They can get you to anywhere. So I have no idea. But yeah, so Saul obviously didn't choose a place, so Nebraska was chosen for him. I did like that he said, okay, it's going to take me about 2, maybe 3 days to get you wiped clean. Because, yeah, it's not only does he have to wipe you clean, but also Saul has all those billboards with his face on it, So he's got a lot of work cut out for him. For getting rid of Saul. Plus, he was already working on getting rid of Walter. So, oh man. Let's see. Which we could also just sort of quickly tie this into the money and done. So, Walt, I can't believe this, that even in, even in this moment of like, oh, okay, yeah, I'm going, this is it. He's still working. He's still trying to get this done. Get what he always wanted done, you know? He's trying to complete what he started, you know? Trying to finish what he started, so many episodes ago. And so, yeah, that was interesting. It's like he's still working. He's trying to get hitmen in order to kill Jack and Todd and everyone like that. Kill all of them so he can get the money back and then get it to Skylar and everyone. It's like it just does not work, It just does not work. And, Saul with the good advice. I swear Saul has always given good advice, Like, it's such a strange thing, but I swear he's always given the correct advice, but nobody actually listens to him, And he said, look, Mike was not an idiot, but every time he tried to get that money to his granddaughter, it was taken. It was taken by the feds, Which, God, that was earlier this season. We've gone so many places just in this season, man. Like, when I think of, like, oh, yeah, what happened, remember Gus? I miss Gus, and, he's going to go out like Gus. And I just think about Gus, and it's like, that was 15 episodes ago. 15 weeks for us. 16, technically, because I took a little break in the middle there. So, it has been so long since then. It's just been crazy, but yeah. So, Walt's still trying to work, even though he was on his way out. Like, that is so crazy. Yeah, again, like last episode, you would be led to believe, like, oh, this is it for Walt. He's leaving, he's out, he's done. And so you think, oh, well, the plot is over. But no, the plot is not over until Walter White says it's over. He is the plot, honestly. You know what it is? The plot has ended, but he hasn't. That's basically it, is that the plot ended, but he didn't realize it, And that's basically what Saul was trying to tell him. It's like, dude, show's over. Breaking Bad, we're done, dude. It's over. But Walter White is like, no, I cannot be done. And it was interesting, too, when it's like he starts to threaten Saul. It's like, oh, you're coming with me. And it's like, no, I'm out. We're done. I'm not a lawyer. I'm just a civilian. It's like, oh, we're done when... and that's when he starts coughing and he is thrown on the bed basically, and Saul takes the perfect opportunity. It's like, we're done. And so I'm pretty positive that Saul is done for this show. The only thing I could think is maybe a small cameo, but I don't see that. I don't see that happening because he's grabbed his bags, he left because it was time to go. He's done. So okay, so Saul is out. I don't think we're getting any more of Saul. So I wrote down Todd and Rat. I hate Todd. I really, really hate Todd. At first it's like, okay, here's just this guy. And it's like, oh, he killed the kid. It's like, oh, that bastard. It's like, that's so horrible. I shouldn't call him a bastard. I kind of use bastard as a term of endearment, actually. Like, you'll probably notice that on a lot of reactions. I'm always like, this bastard, come on. Bastard, honestly, is sort of a term of endearment for me. I've sort of realized that over these shows. So, yeah, it's like, Todd's a fuckface, honestly. Again, nothing against the actor or his face. He's brilliant in this role. But I just fucking hate Todd, So first off, they almost go to kill Jesse because he ratted Todd out. But, see, I was thinking, like, okay, when Todd wants to spare him, like, well, it does kind of make sense because you can still use him. It's like, okay, he's thinking about the purity and stuff like that and the cooks, and it's like, honestly, he's thinking like a businessman. Like, even if, yes, you do have this problem, set it aside, you can, you can still use him. You already have him here against his will, It's not like this has ruined a really good relationship. You already have him prisoner, So that's the thing. It's like, you already have him. It's like, why not just you keep using him for business, But they took it as, oh, well, Todd just wants to bang Lydia, which, I don't like that. I don't like picturing that. You know, it's like look, again, this is I feel like I really have to stress this is nothing on Todd's actor, but just the way he plays Todd is so creepy, you know? I just hate it, you know? I hate Todd so much. And so just the thought of him and Lydia is like, no. So, yeah. So yeah, that's kind of how they took it. It's like, but honestly, yeah, it's like you might as well just stick. Now, granted, they do have, you know, what is it, $70 million that they took from Walt, but it's like you might as well just keep Jesse. You already have him prisoner. So I honestly think Todd was being a bit more pragmatic. Like he was thinking more like a businessman there, it's been very interesting to sort of see, I guess, Todd's development over one season, I guess. Yeah, he's only been in this season, so it's just crazy. I rolled my sleeve a little too far up, so I'm trying to like adjust it so I don't need to be showing off the guns, basically. Let's see. Again, another scene with Todd, loose end. So now here's the interesting thing. He was not going to kill Skylar, which is pretty interesting because he could have easily. He could have just killed Skylar and then be like, all right, that's it. He's not above killing people, as we saw with Andrea. So yeah, it's like I don't know. That just seemed kind of odd. It's like, no, he just scared her. But Lydia sort of, I guess, sort of trigger happy. You know, she was ready to take out Mike's guys in the beginning. Fuck, this has been a long season. But it's like everything that happened there. It's like, yeah, you'd think Todd would be a bit more okay with it, but no, he's just, you know, scaring her. And I do believe that, you know, Skylar is not going to say anything about Lydia. So, and the fact is she hadn't already. You know, this was all about Walt. So I don't know. But yeah, that whole scene again. This guy is so creepy. I hate it. You know, it's just horrible, man. Walt has been taken to New Hampshire, which that was definitely an interesting way of taking him there. You know, in a just a cleaned out, you know, gas canister, basically a gas truck. Yeah, that was very interesting. I imagine that is hell, though. You know, to sit back there, it's probably cold as shit by the time you get that far north and everything. It's like. But yeah, so that was pretty interesting, and yeah, he's in New Hampshire, and his name is Mr. Lambert, which I did then remember that was the name he had in Denny's. So okay, so yeah, he's there. He does have a house, but that was pretty interesting. The whole thing, it's like, yeah, there's just nothing. There's nothing. No phone, no nothing. You don't really get any. No phone, no internet, so, you know, nobody will be able to find him. No TV at all. It's like you get 2 DVDs of the same movie, and was it Mr. Megorium's Emporium or whatever? Like, whatever the hell that was. Oh, excuse me. So, yeah, like, that's the thing. It's like, here's just nothing. Once a month, I will bring you a stack of newspapers, which was crazy, you know? So, yeah. We also had the thing with the gate. It's like, look, if you leave, I'm never coming back. Which you'd almost wonder, it's like, okay, does he have some sort of proximity alarm or something? Like, I don't know if he necessarily had that, but I'm sure he has his ways of, you know, finding out if Walt left. And so definitely he's not coming back now. That's the last we see of that character too, you know? So yeah, I mean, Walt, I do like that it's like, okay, you know, immediately Walt tries to go, but then he's like, no, I'll do it tomorrow. And it's like, yeah, it is a risk because if you go out there, he's not coming back. And it is a very big risk, you know, just to send the money and everything. And now he's taken the risk and it sort of failed, but now he sort of has his second wind as Heisenberg. Jesse tried escaping, and it worked for a little bit, but I guess they probably have proximity alarms, which is how they found him. And they're going to keep him. And it's like, oh, just kill me already. It's like, I'm not doing this. And then they just go and they killed Andrea. It's like, God damn it. And they said, hey, we still have the kid because they aren't above killing kids, you know? Which, I mean, you think back, like, to everyone we've had, you know, like Gus. Like, Gus was not a, you know, well, okay, I'm sorry. Hold on. I think what I was about to say is Gus was not above not killing kids, which is not a sentence. Let me retry that. Gus was above killing kids. Gus wouldn't kill kids. You know, he even, you know, when Jesse brought up the whole thing about, you know, using kids in order to, you know, sell drugs, he's like, all right, no more kids. Like, you know, it's one of those things like, yeah, Gus did have his standards, and it's like, these guys, these, you know, white supremacist fucks, nope. No fucking standards. They still have the kid, and Brock is now going to be the motivation for Jesse to keep working there. It's so terrible. So terrible. I hate Todd. I hate Jack. I hate all those fucks. This is honestly kind of a depressing episode when you really get down to it. Like, you know, just the systematic failure of Walter White coupled with the death of Andrea and the everlasting torment of Jesse Pinkman. Yeah. Excuse me. That's what this episode should have been called, is the systematic failure of Walter White and the everlasting torture of Jesse Pinkman. Bit of a long title, but I think that's honestly what this should have been called. Oh God, if I could hashtag that, I would. That might be a bit too long for a YouTube hashtag, but I'm going to try it. Scroll down a bit, just above the title of this episode, see if I actually pulled that off. Hashtag, what was it? Hashtag, the systematic failure of Walter White and the everlasting torture of Jesse Pinkman. Something like, I think I keep switching out what the thing for Jesse is, but I think it's that. I'm going to try my damnedest to get that in the YouTube hashtag. Might be a bit too much, though. We'll have to see. If not, maybe we can try that on Twitter or something. Oh, my gosh. So, yeah, Andrea's dead. Jesse is still working, and he's pumping out Heisenberg-level stuff, you know? He's got Heisenberg-level product, because that is the thing, is that Jesse was that good. And, yeah, if Lydia wants the good stuff, she has to use Jesse. Now, what could also be interesting, you know, I did sort of think about this, like, oh, we have Jesse Pinkman, that's how our cooks are getting so good. It's like, okay, well, that honestly makes it sound like Todd is not really, like, obviously he is cooking, but the reason that these are up is because of Jesse. Not because Todd's learning from Jesse, but they're using Jesse. So I almost thought, I was kind of thinking, like, what if Lydia just, like, hired some guys, killed Todd and Jack and that entire gang, and took Jesse for herself? It'd honestly be a better deal for Jesse, at least, you know? Because I don't think Lydia would ever kill someone like Andrea or kill Brock. Like, you know, I think, while granted, hold on, wait a second. Well, I was going to say that, but then she seemed pretty open about killing Skylar, but that's a bit different, you know? Like, Andrea was innocent. Skylar's not innocent, you know? So, Andrea and Brock are innocent. Skylar isn't, so that is sort of the difference there. But yeah, that I honestly would think, like, okay, what if, like, you've just said that the reason you're able to do this is because of Jesse. Well, then that means Lydia doesn't need you, she needs Jesse, you know? Because Jesse is the one who, he's the only other person that can, you know, cook the good blue meth with that over 90% purity, you know? So I would honestly be really down with that, you know, because even if Walt figures out how to kill Jack and Todd and that whole gang, then again, Lydia just takes Jesse, and then you know, everything keeps going. She takes Jesse and the methylamine, takes him to Europe, you know, takes him to the Czech Republic. Like, all right, we're doing this here now. Maybe. We had the future. This is it. We're in the future. Here we are in the future. And it sucks. I did like that scene. Well, first off, it was very interesting. It's like, okay, it's far in the future. Presumably close to the year, basically. We're getting up to about Walt's 52nd birthday. I did like... Hold on, what was I going to say? Oh, yeah. I did like, the chemo has to keep up in order for Walt to, keep battling his cancer. So they do homemade chemo. That is insane, man, that these two guys are having to do homemade chemotherapy. Like, that is just insane. But it's what they're doing. And at the very least, it is working. At this point, I think we should be up to the point where Walt says, like, he should be dead by now. We're past the point where Walt was like, in a few months, I'll be dead. It's like, we're kind of to that point, but he's still alive, Oh, it's ridiculous. And I did like that, too, when he says, like, look, one of these days you're going to come here, and I'm going to be dead. And my money's going to be over there. If I asked you to give the money to my family, would you do it? And I like that there's just no real answer. It's like, if I said yes, would you believe me? Because it's one of those things, like, you could sort of take that as like, well, yes, but honestly, no. And it's like, well, if, like, no, I wouldn't actually do that. Or if it's like, look, even if I was sincere when I said yes, would you really believe me? And Walt didn't. And so he was able to... so that's why he tried shipping the 100,000 to them. So... Oh, boy. And yeah, we got the call. We got the call with Flynn. And it's like, oh, I'll try to send you some money. Your mother needs the money. And it's like, yeah, no. You've lost him. It's over. I'm sorry, there's something... What the hell? Those plastic things? For some reason, one of those is stuck in my shirt. I've had this shirt for years. Why is this thing here? Anyway, don't mind me. I'm going to keep talking. So yeah, it's like, no, dude, you've lost him. You've lost Flynn. It's over. And he is going by Flynn full now. It's like, yeah, there's no way he would be referred to as Walter Jr. anymore. So it's, God, that whole scene was just so tense. Like, no, you have lost him. It's over. And that is why it's the systematic failure of Walter White. Or is it? Is it? And he is saying no. He will not go quietly into the night. And that was crazy, just seeing, the two of them, talking to, Charlie Rose, which doesn't age well, but whatever. But yeah, it's like the two of them talking there, and it's like, oh, well, the kind man that we knew is gone. He's completely gone. It's like, oh, he only made the name. He didn't do anything else for the company. And it's like, and that is what, it's so interesting. That is what pushes him over. Like, after he's lost his son, and he's there, and it's like, I'm just gonna, I give up. I will let them take me. I will turn myself in. But it's so interesting that is his breaking point. Seeing the two of them, seeing how successful their lives are, and what he is now, after everything. Because before it was like, oh, I did all this, but then I became a high school chemistry teacher. And then it's like, well, he was a methylamine, kingpin, and now he's not. And it's like, just the systematic failure of Walter White, and that is finally where he's like, no, I will not go quietly into the night and die. I am going to fight. So he's back. Heisenberg is back, and he is going, if he's going out like his predecessor Gus Fring. He's going out with a bang, and that is incredible. And we will have to see how this is going to work out next time on the final episode of Breaking Bad. Ooh, boy, I am so excited and terrified at the same time. So with all that being said, I'm Alex from 7th Hour Films, and I will see you guys next time once again for the final episode of Breaking Bad. See you guys there. Alright guys, thanks for watching this video. If you want to watch more of my Breaking Bad reactions, you can click on the playlist, you can subscribe if you haven't done that already, and be sure you hit that notification bell. You can support me on Patreon and follow me on social media, links below in the description. See you guys later.